We all know that rush of excitement when you open a brand new smartphone. The clean white box, the gleaming screen, the weight that fits just right in your hand. We call it the pinnacle of modern technology. Apple calls it innovation. Samsung calls it the future. But there's one question nobody seems to ask. What actually happened before this phone ended up in your hand? Deep in the heart of Africa, in the mountains of the Democratic Republic of Congo, there's no reliable electricity here, no real schools, no proper hospitals. But buried beneath the ground is something the entire world desperately wants. A mineral called coltan. You may have never heard that word before. But without it, there are no smartphones, no laptops, no electric cars. A single smartphone contains about 40 grams of coltan. Not even a full handful. But someone spends an entire day just to dig up that handful. More than half of the world's coltan supply comes from this very land in Congo. 12-year-old Muta wakes up every morning at 5 o'clock. He leaves home carrying a worn-out shovel and a bucket, not a school bag. An hour's walk to the mine. And there, Muta digs, all day long. His palms split open. His back feels like it's breaking, but he can't stop. His pay for the day is about $1. It's not that Muta has no dreams. He wants to go to school. He wants to play soccer. But if his family is going to eat, Muta has to work. His father died last year when the mine collapsed. There are thousands of kids, just like Muta, working in this mine alone. Across all of Congo, the number runs into the tens of thousands. UNICEF estimates that at least 40,000 children are working in Congo's mines. In 2016, an international human rights organization went to Congo and interviewed the children working in the mines. A 14-year-old boy named David said this: "I want to go to school, but if I don't go to the mine, we can't eat." An 11-year-old girl named Amina said, "My hands hurt so much, but if I cry, the militiamen get angry." A 13-year-old named Joseph said, "A friend of mine died here while working. They told us not to remember his name." These children's testimonies were published in international reports. And the world was briefly shocked, then forgot all about it. Congo is a country rich in resources, but decades of civil war have gutted its entire system of governance. Most of the mining regions aren't controlled by the government. They're run by armed militias. These groups force local people to mine coltan, then use the profits to buy more weapons. And with those weapons, they terrorize the very same people. It's a cycle with no end in sight. Women in the villages around the mines live in fear every single night. Sexual violence by armed groups has long been used as a weapon of war in eastern Congo. The UN has designated this region as one of the most dangerous places on Earth. But as long as coltan keeps selling, the militias will keep existing. Muta spends all day digging and gets paid $1. But by the time that same coltan reaches a factory in Asia, the price has jumped dozens of times over. So who's in the middle? Traders. They buy coltan on the ground in Congo at rock-bottom prices. Then they run it through Rwanda and Uganda to launder the paperwork. They strip off the conflict zone label. On paper, it becomes a clean, conflict-free mineral. Brokers in Hong Kong and Dubai pick it up and pass it along to smelters across Asia. Through this process, the price of 1 kilogram of coltan goes from about $7 at the source to hundreds of dollars by the end. Muta sits at the very bottom of that chain. And at the very top of that chain is the smartphone we line up to buy every year. In 2010, a supply chain auditor working inside Apple quietly left the company. In a later interview, he said this: We knew where the coltan from Congo was coming from and how it was being mined. But the reports always got wrapped up just neatly enough, because changing the supply chain raises costs. Raising costs cuts margins, and cutting margins tanks the stock price. This isn't just Apple's story. Samsung, Sony, and Microsoft all publish supply chain reports every year. Reports filled with beautiful language. Responsible sourcing. Ethical supply chains. A sustainable future. But today, the mines in Congo are still running. And Muta is still digging. Every year, when a new phone drops, we line up. We want thinner, faster, sharper. That desire itself isn't wrong. Humans have always wanted something better. That's what built civilization. But we need to know that at the far end of that desire, there's Muta. There's David. There's Amina. There's Joseph, who is told not to remember his friend's name. The very screen you're watching this on right now. A Congolese child's entire day is melted into it. That child is still digging right now. Thank you. See you in the next story.